Hello and welcome to the Last Free Beacon podcast. I'm Ash and this is
Mike.
And today we're going to be discussing an article I stumbled upon that we just felt we have to share with you. It's called Fat Women Don't Owe You Shit by Gia Vitale from the MookyChick blog. I have no idea how I found this, honestly. It was just something that came up. So we thought we would just read it for you and give a little commentary, and it might be fun. Actually, Mike, I think, has read more of it already than I have. I just thought the title was wonderful, so let's get into it. Newsflash. Fat women don't owe you shit. We don't owe you a response, an orgasm, or even the time of day. Stop expecting sexual attention and emotional labor from us because we're fat. As a fat woman, she's not speaking for all fat women yet. As a fat woman, I've been on the receiving end of a lot of bullshit from others. I experience discrimination and fat phobia both online and in real life. Being fat affects me at all times. I find that very hard to believe. Don't you?
How many stairs?
Are affecting you at all times?
And
what kind of stare? Are we talking about like STAIRS?
I'm talking about climbing stairs.
I thought you were talking about STARES.
No, I put on 10 pounds and I can't take 5 steps without getting winded. So.
Oh yeah, when I weighed 168, I was running up the stairs at SC4 and I thought I was gonna die, so don't do that. I'm 4'10", by the way, so that's a lot. Anyway, so she says it affects her at all times. This is where we are. However, something about the anonymity of the internet makes people feel more free to make comments about my body size. I get more sexual comments and insults than genuine internet interest from internet users. I don't get a terrible amount of sexual language, I don't think. Just like people saying, like they want to start a conversation. I just don't let it go there. Being a fat girl on Instagram. Okay, so if you were like constantly feeling like people were making, sexual or like nasty comments, insults, like she says, like I'm not saying she has no place on Instagram, but would you want to be on Instagram?
The thing you'll see is that you're wrong no matter what.
Okay.
Pay attention or don't. Both are wrong.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. I think if I felt like people were always gonna either say something nasty or insult me, I wouldn't want to be on there, but...
Well, I think back to Shallow Hal. Do you remember Gwyneth's response?
To what?
She wore the fat suit in public.
Oh,
what did she say? No one looked at me. That is a bizarre thing to say.
Well, if you're Gwyneth Paltrow and you're really narcissistic, it's not.
I mean...
She could be, like, histrionic, actually, and she just wants attention, no matter what. And if she didn't get attention... Actually, one of the things I miss about being fat is feeling invisible. So that's where that goes. Anyway, so she says, being fat on Instagram doesn't mean I welcome sexual advances from strangers. Still, men feel free to slide into my DMs and say vulgar stuff to me. Men have sent so many unsolicited sexual comments to me, I usually don't respond to messages on social media unless I can tell the user is a fan of my writing, another writer, or a friend.
You should put fan first.
Well, you know what's funny is, like, I have an Instagram that's private, and if I get a message or somebody wanting to add me on there, it's the same for me. Like, I'm not a fat girl now. I don't think that's, like, really debatable. You know, unless you're, like, anorexic, you probably wouldn't think I'm fat. And maybe not even then, just yourself, you know, it depends. But I don't add people I don't know on there. And so I don't think she's unique in that regard. You'd think my lack of response in and of itself would indicate a lack of interest. Still, my lack of response doesn't stop most guys from repeatedly messaging me, communicating an entitlement to my attention. These men think their attention is prize-worthy for a fat girl like me. They think I should be grateful for their attention, especially if it's sexual attention. On a rare occasion that I do decide to give a response. Why? Alright, we'll keep going. I'm disappointed 1,000% of the time. What's
10 times as much as you respond. Okay,
what's the scale here? I hate that. Every time I give a random internet guy a chance, he quickly turns the conversation in a sexual direction. That's true for everyone.
That's another theme you'll see.
That they apply it to
She's
only...
applying it either to herself personally or to fat women, things that are
universally a problem for women.
Yes.
Okay. It's like they feel no shame in assuming I'm going to welcome their attention because I'm fat. It's not because you're fat.
No.
Okay. They feel free to make comments about my big body being sexy. Newsflash, again, there's several newsflashes, breaking all the time. When news breaks, we fix it. Remember the good old days of The Daily Show? Oh, it just makes me sad now. I never asked what you think of my body or my size. Again.
They have nothing else to go on because they don't actually know you.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking to somebody yesterday who started talking about my body all of a sudden. I was just like, that's why you messaged me. Oh, I thought we were being friends. I don't have a lot of friends, but alright, whatever. Meanwhile, I post nothing that suggests I welcome sexual messages, and look at me. I am scared, don't do that, and I still get them. As much as they assume I eat, they still think I'm starved for attention. Oh wow.
Clever turn of phrase.
Yeah, from the male gaze. Wow. For instance, I cracked today. A guy messaged me, "What's up?" So I said I was running errands. And then he announced he was masturbating. That happens all the damn time. Guess what I'm doing? It's awful. Alright, I immediately blocked him. This happened to me on Instagram. Nowhere in my profile do I indicate willingness to be sexual with strangers. You're looking sexual tonight. Yet it doesn't stop men from DMing me with sexual expectations.
These are terrible perverts who will send this to anyone.
Yep. They're just waiting for, like, the first person who will give them any kind of response.
They're crawling through profiles like, oh, that's a signal. No.
No. They're not looking for something in your bio.
They saw a person. The end.
Yep. Oh, she's online right now. There's the little green light. And they think that means go. Alright, so based on my lived experiences as a fat person, I've learned that people can insult you without saying an outright insult.
Okay, now we get into the cluster B mental illness portion.
Great. I can tell, based on the repeated entitled behavior, that people on the internet target me because I'm fat. Okay, I'm already kind of... Alright, let's go down this rabbit hole, I guess. I'm being repeatedly subjected to unwanted sexual talk, comments, and even backhanded compliments / insults because men assume I'll be grateful for their attention. The assumption that women... Well, I don't know, that someone... some sort of a Freudian slip on my part. The assumption that someone will welcome sexual advances based on their size is bigoted and downright toxic. I used to live up to the easy fat girl stereotype. Is that a... I know that sounds bad, but I've known a lot of fat people and have been a fat person, and I don't necessarily find that to be a stereotype.
Well, see how she contradicts herself.
Okay. So, I used to live up to the easy fat girl stereotype, and still hate how many men expect fat women to be sexually available to them based on our size alone. Fat women have autonomy over sexuality. Not only can we sleep around as much as we like, but we have every right to reject whoever we don't like. Mike's face just froze.
You embrace promiscuity while dismissing the idea that anyone else would think you are promiscuous.
Right, and isn't that last line true for everyone?
It's
what
true
you just
for
said?
everyone.
Yes. Okay. Fat women who do like casual sex still have standards. Yeah, of course. They're probably looking for more than "hey" as a first message. That's true for everybody. And they too have the right to reject anyone who messages them. Yes, of course. Fat women and everyone else for that matter. Now
so she can acknowledge it.
Yeah. Are not obligated to respond to a person just because they message us. Okay. I feel like she acknowledged it and now she's going to move away from it again, right?
This is where she goes off the deep end.
Okay. Another thing I've noticed is that people expect more emotional labor from me and other fat people. It took me a little while to notice, but after reading an article by Virgi Tovar, wow, these English people have strange names. Let's just go there. But about how people expect emotional labor from fat people. And she actually hyperlinked the one she's quoting, but I can't deny it's the truth. These people often assume we're down to talk about their serious problems with them like a therapist. People take my time for granted because they assume I have nothing better to do. Many people won't make plans with me because they'd rather see how they feel on a given day instead of just committing. That's a general problem that everyone has. Like, people don't follow through anymore. They just don't. And if you are a good listener or are empathic, then people take advantage of it. Just
You
generally.
let people dump on you; they'll do it all the time. If you're hot and busy, you're not getting all these.
Cancel my subscription because I'm over your issues. If you can say those words and make them not sound like it just did, then more power to you. Okay, so they take your time for granted. Yes, like straight-sized people.
That might be a regional term.
Let's hope. A lot of fat people don't have loads of time to just sit around. Our time is valuable like anyone else's, of course. So just don't give them the time. And I think that's a boundary issue. You know, it's not her being
You don't
overweight.
bear responsibility for someone wasting your time initially, but if you keep letting them,
And
eventually it's your fault.
Again, it's true for everyone. People expect me to do more emotional labor, even in the dating world. Men have always approached me with the mindset of what I could do for them, without even thinking about what they could possibly contribute to my life.
Again,
Yep.
universal.
Yep, exactly.
You teach people how to treat you.
I learned that the hard way. So, they expect sex and attention. Oh, yeah, men only expect sex and attention from fat women. That's not a general thing. But do they even care about my needs? For instance, a lot of men have expected me to be a stand-in girlfriend who gives them comfort, sex, and emotional labor to heal them or fix them after a breakup. Who hasn't been there? You know what I mean? That, like, somebody only talks to you when they want you to pick up their pieces. You know, it's just like, come on. So, whenever I've expended this kind of emotional support, I receive no thanks. Alright, so we're just going to skip down because it's, yeah, we pretty much established she is applying everyday problems that exist for women to only fat women.
Or just
So far.
herself personally.
And then she's speaking for fat women because it's happening to her and she happens to be overweight. On online dating sites, internet users still expect emotional labor. Can she mix up her word choice?
No. if she could, she would.
Yeah.
But this one really bothers me, this
Okay.
paragraph in particular.
Okay, so you want me to just keep reading it? Alright. So, on online dating sites, internet users still expect me, or emotional support from me. For instance, some men will hardly fill their profile out. Oh my gosh. Instead of inviting others, they just say, just ask. Yes, okay. Everybody. This puts the onus on us, basically, instead of just answering questions to give insight into their personality. Meanwhile, those sections exist. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I can't even read
She's
all the way
reading
through.
into bad profiles as if she is personally
Being
targeted by
targeted.
them, when no one is targeted because he can't be bothered to fill out his profile.
No, and the whole thing, too, is like, she's acting as if these algorithms are targeting her when most of these dating sites have admitted publicly that their algorithms are shit, that they mean absolutely nothing. Okay. Whenever someone's profile says to just ask them, so she's still going on?
Yes.
Okay. That she never bothers to ask them. Well, good.
But she's going to talk about it for 2 paragraphs.
Oh, gosh. I put the time and effort into filling out mine. Alright, so let's go down. The worst messages are the ones that come from people pretending to care about my health. Oh,
this might actually be about being fat, for once.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. They'll comment on my size and ask if I'm doing anything to lose weight. I don't think they're pretending to care, necessarily. You know what I mean?
Some of them are, but she says this rando on the internet is a doctor. Well, he might be. You don't know.
Yeah, and honestly, I think, if you're not planning on dating the person, if you're not, like, reading through her profile and thinking she's interesting, it's just a dick thing to do.
Yes.
So straight up, I'll give her that. She says
it's a weird thing to send someone on a dating site.
She says if you're a troll, it's bigoted and rude. Fair enough. And, I can get trolls on dating sites for being a conservative. So we'll call that square. How's that? I can't win.
Neither can we.
I know. If I state an actual rejection, I get insulted for being fat.
See Reddit on this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Reject a man, suddenly you're ugly.
The nice guy.
Turned nice guy.
Yeah, turned nice guy, yep. And then they say she's undateable. Well, all of that, it can be like that they will turn and then target the fact that she's overweight because of that, and I'll give her that too. It's like you could...
It's psychological armor. You're telling yourself why you don't want her.
Right, exactly. She says, well, tough shit. I'm an actual person in my own right. I am not obligated to fulfill someone's whims. Well, sure, that's true for everyone. Instead of receiving messages with comments about my body, I want to receive them from people who would ask about how my writing is going, my taste in anime. I've run into any good books lately. Why do people always say ran when they mean run? And how's your writing going? I have a constructive criticism. Is it because I'm fat? No, it is not. First and foremost, I'm looking to connect with people. True for everyone, toots. Yeah, honestly, the dating site thing, it's like you do get messages or like, you're gorgeous, or like they comment about your looks. And it doesn't matter if you've written a substantial amount. Occasionally I get like, oh, your profile really spoke to me. That kind of thing. But that doesn't happen very often. And it would if they read it, because it's really amazing stuff. Most importantly, I'm not looking to have online chats with someone who thinks I owe them a response, especially if we've only messaged a few times. Let's face it, I don't owe shit to strangers on the internet. Neither do fat women as a whole, or anyone else for that matter. That's true. So she at least brings it back to nobody else needs to do this. But I'm still, besides the one point about people turning on you and then calling you fat or ugly, I don't see how anything apart from a fat comment after that is unique to her. Remember this, internet. Will the internet remember it? Yeah, that's why we're reading this, and it's like a year old. Fat women don't owe you shit. If anything, you owe us an apology for expecting so much from us and judging us based on our size. Trust me though, it's not really, I don't even think that they're expecting anything. It's just what you said. They want attention from anyone who will give it to them. Anyone.
Any woman, anyway.
And it's tagged body positive. Here's the thing. She doesn't seem too positive about the way she feels about her body.
Obsessed.
She's obsessed. And honestly, it's anybody can be obsessed with their body in a negative way. Like, you know, skinny chicks can be down on themselves, and they can be more down on themselves the skinnier they get. But that is, you know, the sad part about body positivity. Do you think any of these girls really feel good about their bodies?
It's hard to see that they do.
Yeah. I definitely never have felt good about my body, but it's, you know, that's not unique. And what we learned from MookyChick is that, yeah, you can reject anybody, but I reject the validity of her claim that this is all, you know, about fat girls and their issues.
She speaks better for doormats than fat women.
Yep. So get your gumption, girls. This has been Last Speakin' Podcast, and we'll see you soon. Or you'll hear us soon.